All right, it is now time for Steph Pacello's Tweet Top 10 list. You see, we need to really yank Matt Ross's chain to allow us to play Benny Hill during the Tweet 10 top 10 list. See that 20 times in a row. Okay, here we go. Number 10, and again, the theme is?
The Tweet 10 ways Toronto can celebrate the Leafs making the playoffs.
Fair enough. The number 10.
Show a 10-second video recapping the Leafs' best moments of the decade.
Which decade we're looking at?
The past 10 years.
Oh, fair enough then. Number 9.
Keep the bars open really late, almost until midnight. If you've been to Toronto, you'll understand.
Yeah, I think everyone's been to Toronto. Number 8.
Rob Ford and friends on ice. No cameras allowed.
Oh, God. All right. I lost track here.
Number 7.
Number 7. Go ahead. Number 7.
Cancel all Blue Jays games through June so they don't dampen the mood.
All right. That's not bad. Number 6.
Brian Burke Appreciation Day.
I like that one. Not bad. Number 5.
Cancel all tee times.
For golf, correct?
Yes.
It's okay. Number 4.
Send Gary Bettman a fruit basket for shortening the season.
Okay, that's pretty good. Number 3.
The Air Canada Centre now adopts the nickname of Canada's Wonderland.
Number 2.
James Reimer stop sign T-shirts.
Reimer stop sign T-shirts. And drum roll, please, for the number 1.
They can stop pretending to care about the Argonauts.
I think, and unfortunately I know Matt has this policy of going through all 10, but I would have left on a high note on a walk-off.
On number 9.
Number 9.
I didn't think that one would be the funniest one. I thought that would just be a little chuckle and that would be it.
No, that was pretty funny. Jim, your thoughts, please.
Well, if you ended it at number 9, it would have been a very short top 10 list.
It would have been a short top 10 list.
The
but
top
it's like,
2.
It's like second in the NHL, right? During the playoffs. We're going to overtime. How long will this go? No one knows, right? So everyone's getting ready for like a quadruple overtime, and the game ends like in the first 45 seconds.
Yeah, Brian Skrugland scoring a goal against Calgary in overtime, 9 seconds in.
9 seconds in, you're like, what? That's it? Okay, whatever.
In the last couple of years in the NHL, it really hasn't been that many long overtimes. A lot of them seem to have in the first 5 minutes or so.
I believe, I think it was 4 years or 5 years ago when the Sharks played the Stars. We can look this up here. Sharks-Stars, it was Game 5 and went till 2 or 2:30 in the morning on a Sunday night.
Brian Campbell got a penalty in the 5th overtime period. I remember that.
Yeah, and the Stars, I believe the Stars had won that game to go back to San Jose down or up 3-2, whatever it was. So, yeah, so there you go. Are we now ready for the Toronto Maple Leafs homage?
Yes, and of course, the last time they made the playoffs was 2003-2004.
Yes.
And looking back today, a lot of interesting stuff happened around that time.
So, in honor of the Leafs clinching their spot over the weekend, we want to pay our respects to our neighbors down the 401. So, what happened during the 2004 calendar year when the Leafs last qualified for the playoffs?
All right, well, if we're going to start, let's start with Canadian politics. Paul Martin of the Liberal Party defeats Stephen Harper of the Conservative Party in the Canadian federal election.
And that was the last of the Liberals' domination. And the Harper government has gone on a dynasty run of numerous minority governments.
Come back with a vengeance.
Yes. So Paul Martin became Prime Minister of Canada in 2004, correct?
That's right.
All right. Then,
and down south, George Bush defeated John Kerry to earn a second term of office.
Yeah, Bush had that thing in the bag. Unfortunately for John Kerry, his platform wasn't really convincing for voters to really go Democratic in that department here. I don't know if you agree with that, Jim.
Well, I think an Eastern liberal from Massachusetts, since John F. K., didn't work. Didn't work for Dukakis, didn't work for Kerry.
Yeah. What else?
It didn't work for Romney either, although he wasn't a liberal.
No, he wasn't. He was far from it. He was on the opposite side of the specter.
But he was from Massachusetts.
Yes, he was. What else happened in 2004 in honor of the Leafs making the playoffs?
All right. Well, going with economics here, on the day that the Toronto Maple Leafs were eliminated from the playoffs from the Philadelphia Flyers, May 5th, 2004, the average gas price in Canada was 95.9 cents per liter.
It's funny. We look at that, and I remember, at that time, like, wow, gas is mad expensive. This is ridiculous. Boy, would we crave for 95 cents for gas. And what is it now today? 129? It was 131?
Between $1.25 to $1.40, depending on the day.
I believe Randy Tiemann, who listens to this show on his way back home to Ontario, if he calls on the bat line, I'm curious to know what the gas price is right now in Ontario. I'm thinking like 120.
I think in Ontario, when I cross the Ontario border to go to Cornwall or to Ottawa,
To fill up for gas?
yeah, well, no, actually go to visit people.
Yes.
Usually it's about 7 to 8 cents less across the Ontario border than it is here in Quebec.
They did a sneaky move, actually, for those who are familiar with the Ontario-Quebec border. There used to be a gas station before you cross over into Quebec that no longer exists, which I think it was like mere yards away from the Quebec border. So you have to fill in, like when you come from Ontario to Quebec, you're filling in Quebec at some point. So I'm curious to know what the gas price is right now. 514-790-1690, 1-866-896-2546. What else happened in 04 in honor of the Leafs?
All right, well, the Canadian dollar was worth just 73 cents American.
Yeah, you know what? The Canadian dollar, I believe, was ascending back up to almost, now what is par. And they made a slow recovery. And I think that was the year that it really helped torpedo its way to being respectable again for Canadians to go down south to buy U.S. goods and bring them back up north.
Moving on to some entertainment news now.
Yes.
The highest grossing film of 2004. Can you guess what it was?
2004, I don't know. I don't remember any many films in 2004. Was it Harold and Kumar Goes to White Castle?
No, it was not.
I just can't guess. I imagine it was a action film, of course.
Far from it. Shrek 2.
Shrek 2.
$880 million worldwide.
Oh, I thought you were talking about North American gross.
No, the highest grossing film of the year.
Okay, worldwide. Okay.
Shrek 2. Okay, fair enough.
2.
What else happened in 2004?
Well, the biggest newcomer in hip-hop was Kanye West. 10 Grammy nominations in 2004.
When Kanye came on the scene, I first called him Kanye West. And so I go to my buddy. I'm like, hey, Kev, you heard this new guy, Kanye West? I mean, Kanye. I'm like, whatever his name is. And boy, was I wrong. So Kanye West coming onto the scene in 2004, huh? All right, what else happened if you have any more tidbits?
Well, he came on, but others went away. The two TV shows, Friends and your favorite, Mo, Sex and the City, both series ended. that year.
I did watch the movie Sex and the City in 2008 when it came out.
The first one.
The first one, that's right. So, I mean, I am not embarrassed to mention that on air. I am a man who likes to, explore different avenues of movies. And, yes, that was a really good show for those who were fans of it. What else happened?
Well, Jimmy's going to like this one. If you're looking back on the world of sports, Greece shocked the world and won Euro Cup 2004.
It wasn't a shock. I knew they'd win all along.
If Coach Pete Yiannopoulos heard you right now, Steph Micheli, he will call up on the bat line and just chew you out.
I just shoot him out, so why shouldn't Coach Pete?
That wasn't a fluke, man. They beat Portugal twice in their own backyard.
Can you really say that everyone expected Greece to win that year?
No one thought Greece was going to win. But Otto Rehhagel had that team playing as a unit because prior to that, Greece they had no direction of their soccer club and their soccer federation. And when Rehhagel came on board and said, it's my way or the highway, you guys want to win, come join my boat. If you don't, then get the hell out of here. They all bought into his system and philosophy. And Greece played what essentially became the New Jersey Devil of soccer. Trap style, boring, defensive-minded soccer. Get me a 1-goal lead. We're going to win. And that's what they did. They stymied the golden generation of Portugal not once but twice to win the 04 Euro.
And they also beat France and the Czech Republic in the elimination round.
And you're absolutely right. And they knocked them out. France and the Czech Republic were both heavily favored to win those games. And Greece came out and smoked them on the soccer pitch. Jimmy G, Steph Micheli, Mo Khan here in Game Points. Reminiscing on 2004, the last time the Leafs made the playoffs.
Just a couple other constants and similarities between 2004 and this year. Both years had NHL lockouts, and the Toronto Argonauts were Grey Cup champions.
That is correct. They beat the BC Lions in Ottawa that year, in which Anthony Calvillo went down in that East final, in which Ted White came in, and boy, that was it for the Alouettes.
Was that a disaster?
They were not going to the Grey Cup.